Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a concept that, well, it gets thrown around a lot in aviation circles, airmanship.
Right. It's often called the art of flying safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our main source today, the Commercial Pilot's Handbook, uses that phrase. It's seen as this really crucial quality, but it's also quite hard to pin down. You know,
Yeah.
It's what separates a good pilot from, well, maybe just an okay one.
Mm-hmm. And there are a couple of quotes that really frame this well, don't they?
Yeah, they jump right out. There's that anonymous one. Good judgment comes from experience.
And experience comes from bad judgment. A classic.
It is. And then you've got Brigadier General Chuck Yeager saying there is no such thing as a natural-born pilot.
Which is powerful. It sets the stage right away. This isn't some magic you're born with.
No, it's learned, it's developed, it's earned, really.
And the source uses a really interesting analogy, doesn't it? With interference drag on an aircraft.
It does. Explain that a bit.
Well, think about airflow. Smooth over the wing, smooth over the fuselage. But where those flows meet and mix, they can clash, create extra drag that wasn't obvious at first. Designers had to figure out this sort of hidden resistance existed for ages. They only accounted for, like, two main types of drag.
But something was missing.
Exactly. This invisible extra force. And airmanship is presented as being like that hidden drag for pilots. It's not always visible, hard to quantify sometimes.
But absolutely critical.
Critical. It can literally be the difference between getting home safely or not.
So that's our mission for this deep dive, then. We're going to try and unpack what airmanship really is.
Why it's so important.
And maybe most importantly, how you listening might understand it better. Maybe even think about how to develop these kinds of characteristics, whether you fly planes or just, navigate daily life.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, let's get into it. The source kicks off by calling airmanship common sense in flying.
Right.
Which immediately makes you think, well, if it's just common sense, why all the fuss? Why a deep dive?
It's a great question, isn't it? Because the paradox is, this kind of common sense, especially under pressure, it's not actually that common.
Oh.
The source suggests it really becomes visible when someone subconsciously just applies everything they know to make good calls when things are uncertain.
So it's not about specific training for that exact situation?
Not necessarily. It's more about applying your whole knowledge base to handle everyday stuff the right way, the way most experienced pros would agree is best. It's instinctive application,
Instinctive. So subconscious is the key word there. How does the source explain cultivating something that works on that level? Is it just about piling up flight hours?
Experience helps, definitely, but it's more nuanced. The source emphasizes it's exercised subconsciously. It's not like formal logic, deductive or inductive reasoning. It's more heuristic, using mental shortcuts based on what you already know.
Like the example given.
Yeah, the simple one. You don't stick your hand in a flame. Why? You just know. Either someone told you, you read it, or maybe you learned the hard way once. You don't debate it. You just avoid the fire.
That's common sense from common knowledge. Almost sounds too simple.
It does, but think about it in a high-stress cockpit situation. Even simple truths can get lost if you're overwhelmed.
Okay, that makes sense. So, applying that idea to flying, the author gives us a solid definition. Airmanship is, let me get this right, the application of the total of all aeronautical knowledge, skills, and experience.
Possessed by an individual in exercising sound judgment in aviation.
To ensure safe and efficient operations. That really pulls it all together. Knowledge, skills, experience, judgment. All for safety and efficiency.
It's comprehensive.
So where does that start? How does a pilot actually build this?
Well, the first big piece, absolutely inseparable from airmanship, is situational awareness. SA.
Okay.
You can't exercise sound judgment, which is the core of airmanship, without good SA. They're completely intertwined.
Right, so how do you build that? Good SA.
It's described as a higher cognitive task. Basically, your brain needs bandwidth. It needs to be free to develop that awareness.
Free from what? Being overloaded.
Exactly. Freedom comes from being really proficient at managing your workload. And that proficiency comes from the knowledge you have and the skills you've mastered. It's like needing a clear desk to think straight.
So it's about being proactive. Managing time, setting priorities, maybe getting tasks done before they pile up.
Precisely. And the source points out that the realization that things might get busy later, and then the action of doing stuff early to prevent that, that itself is airmanship in action, that forward thinking.
That forward thinking. Does intuition play a role there, that gut feeling?
Definitely. Intuition is mentioned as a way to rapidly develop SA. picking up on tiny details, seeing patterns emerge, that sixth sense feeling.
Can you learn intuition?
Not directly learn it like a procedure maybe, but the source suggests you can develop it. By listening to it, checking if it was right. It seems strongly linked to how much you know overall. The more knowledge and experience, the better your intuition gets, potentially.
Okay, so you build SA, but you also have to keep it,
Right.
Sustain it.
Absolutely. It's dynamic. You need to constantly update it. Just like you monitor the environment to build SA, you have to monitor for signs that it might be degrading.
What are those signs? What should a pilot look out for?
Some clear flags are mentioned. Feeling like you're falling behind the aircraft, things happening faster than you can process.
Okay.
Ambiguity or confusion between crew members. Maybe ATC has to repeat instructions because you didn't comply.
Like you missed something.
Yeah. Or things just aren't playing out the way you expected.
Right.
Or that feeling of just running out of time, being rushed.
That feeling of being behind the curve.
Exactly. Step behind, things not clicking.
And if that happens, airmanship demands immediate action to get SA back.
Correct. First rule. Pilot flying, the one actually flying, gets to focus purely on fly the aircraft. Nothing else matters more in that instant.
While the pilot monitoring?
The PM needs to step up their attention. Scan more, listen more carefully.
And they both need to communicate more, right? Ask for info, maybe demand it, clarify things.
Yeah.
Use time management, prioritize ruthlessly.
Yes. That whole sequence, recognizing the loss of SA, the PF focusing, the PM supporting, the increased communication and focus executing those actions effectively, that's a prime example of good airmanship.
Because high SA lets you stay ahead. You can manage what's happening now, see trends, predict what's next, plan ahead.
Right. That anticipation is the goal. It keeps you prepared mentally. It's proactive, not reactive.
So we have knowledge, skills, experience leading to SA and judgment. But the source brings in another vital element, attitude.
Yes, and it's careful to define what attitude means here. It's not just about being cheerful or grumpy.
Now, it's about how you view and interact with your profession, with flying itself.
Exactly. And the core point is, good airmanship requires a good attitude.
It's sobering, isn't it? The source says even skilled, knowledgeable pilots can have accidents if their attitude is wrong.
It is sobering. It underlines that the how matters just as much as the what. You need the right mindset.
So what makes up this good attitude? The source breaks it down.
First off, professionalism. Really understanding the values of being a pilot safety first, always. Having that constant drive to be better, to excel. Staying curious, always learning, your whole career.
A commitment to mastery.
That's a good way to put it. Then there's self-awareness.
Knowing yourself.
Deeply. Knowing what you're good at. And just as importantly, knowing your limitations. Wanting to improve, yes. Pushing your flying envelope bigger through experience.
But knowing where the edge is right now.
Precisely. Understanding your current limits so you stay safe, even while you might be carefully exploring near those edges to grow. It's a fine balance.
Like a professional athlete carefully pushing their boundaries.
Yeah. But with potentially higher stakes, of course. And the third component is self-discipline.
This sounds fundamental.
It really is. It covers so much. Being diligent in prep, following the rules and procedures, even when it's inconvenient. Teamwork. Self-improvement.
Keeping a suspicious eye on things.
Yes. Always thinking, what could go wrong here? Being conscientious about your duties, using checklists properly, good cockpit habits, monitoring everything diligently. It's the bedrock of consistent performance.
Doing things right, especially when no one's looking.
That sums it up well.
Okay, so those are the good attitudes. What about the bad ones? The ones that wreck airmanship?
The source flags a few clear danger signs. One is that it can't happen to me syndrome.
Complacency? Or arrogance?
Could be either. Lethargy, lack of effort, maybe a false sense of invincibility. The danger there is you're completely unprepared for the unexpected. You get hit by this startle factor.
You freeze up or get disoriented.
Exactly. Another bad one is impulsiveness.
Just reacting without thinking.
Yeah. Acting too fast without considering the consequences. The source gives a chilling example. A pilot shutting down a good engine after one failed on takeoff. A snap decision. Fatal.
Wow. Despite training telling them otherwise.
Despite training. And then there's the opposite of self-discipline. Compulsive rule bending or breaking, ignoring procedures, especially if it's tied up with macho behavior.
Trying to show off or cut corners.
Yeah, that's just asking for trouble.
So ultimately, all these pieces, SA, judgment, attitude, discipline, they all feed into one main goal, right? staying ahead of the aircraft.
That's the bottom line. Airmanship is about being proactive, staying way out in front of the plane mentally, not just reacting after things happen, because then you're always playing catch-up.
So how do pilots do that? How do they achieve that anticipation?
It starts with really thorough pre-flight prep, thinking through the flight, visualizing what's likely to happen, creating a mental plan of anticipation. Then, as the flight unfolds, you're constantly observing, orienting yourself to what's actually happening, and pattern matching it against your mental plan.
And airmanship shines when there's a mismatch.
Exactly. The moment something deviates from the plan or doesn't fit the pattern, that's the trigger. Your alertness spikes, and you react early. You're acting as it unfolds, or even slightly before, to mitigate it.
Not after the fact.
Not after the fact. There's a figure in the source, 20.2, that shows this idea of the personal envelope, your skills, experience, attitude. The danger comes when the demands of the situation exceed that envelope.
So you need to stay within it.
But also have the self-awareness to know how to carefully expand it over time. Know your limits, but also know how to intelligently push them.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, it feels like airmanship really is the art of flying safely. It's this blend of judgment, awareness, attitude, self-awareness, discipline.
It's not just one thing, it's the integration of all of them, and it's absolutely essential for being a truly good pilot.
But the really encouraging takeaway, going back to Chuck Yeager,
is that there are no natural-born pilots.
Right. And the source is clear. Airmanship can absolutely be developed. It's not magic.
No mystical gift. It's cultivated, built through knowledge, through experience, and crucially, through the right attitude and discipline. It's a continuous process.
A journey, like you said. Which brings us to a final thought for you, listening. Think about these principles: proactive thinking, honest self-assessment, disciplined prep, anticipating, adapting.
How do they apply outside the cockpit, in your own work, your own life?
What hidden airmanship characteristics could help you navigate your own challenges more effectively?
Yeah.
Something to chew on.